Hello, future top notchers! Welcome to another social studies majorship review session. Today, we'll dive into an essential topic, which is the economics. And in this session, we'll go through 20 multiple choice questions, each with rationalization. So grab your notes, stay focused, and let's begin. Number one, which of the following is an example of microeconomic analysis? Letter A. Examining how a change in income tax rates affects national unemployment. Letter B. Studying how a rise in the price of coffee affects consumer demand for tea. Letter C. Analyzing how an increase in government spending influences GDP growth. Or letter D. Investigating the relationship between inflation and interest rates. The correct answer is letter B, because microeconomics focuses on individual behavior and market interactions, such as how a price change in one product affects demand for another product or substitute goods. Okay, so the letter B is the best answer. For letters A, C, and D, these choices are incorrect because they deal with broader economic issues like national tax policies, GDP, and inflation, which fall under macroeconomics, not micro. Number two, in a perfectly competitive market, firms are considered to be blank. Letter A, price makers. Letter B, price takers. Letter C, monopoly controllers. Or letter D, government regulated entities. The correct answer is B. Letter B is the correct because in perfect competition, individual firms have no control over prices. They must accept the market price, so they are the price takers. For letter A is incorrect because price makers set prices, which applies to monopolies or oligopolies. Again, for letter A is for monopoly and oligopoly. For letter C is incorrect because firms in perfect competition do not control the market like a monopoly. For letter D, uh, it is incorrect as well because while firms operate within regulations, they are not directly controlled by the government. Only letter B is the best answer. Number three, what does gross domestic product or GDP measure? Letter A, a total value of all goods and services produced within a country uh, in a given year. Letter B, the total profits earned by businesses in a country. Letter C, the total amount of money in circulation. Or letter D, the number of people employed in a country. The best answer is letter A, because GDP represents the market value of all final goods and services produced domestically in a given period. Again, domestically, dito lang sa Pilipinas. And for letter B, for letters B, C, and D are incorrect. First, let's discuss letter B. Why is it incorrect? Because GDP includes total production, not just businesses' profits. For letter C is incorrect because money supply is measured differently. Mm, yeah, it's not part of uh, GDP. I mean, GDP does not measure money circulation. And for letter D, it's incorrect because employment is a separate economic indicator, though it can affect GDP. But the best answer is letter A. Number four, if the inflation rate is rising rapidly, what is the most common response by central banks? Letter A, lowering interest rates. Letter B, printing more money. Letter C, increasing interest rates. Or letter D, reducing government spending. The best answer is letter C because higher interest rates make borrowing more expensive, thus reducing spending and slowing inflation. So that's how central banks respond to rising inflation rate. They increase interest rates. Letter C is the best answer. Now, for letter A is incorrect because lowering interest rates would further increase inflation. Mhm. Letter B is incorrect because printing money generally worsen inflation. Letter D is incorrect because while fiscal policy, like government spending, affects inflation, monetary policy, like interest rates, is a primary tool. Monetary policy. Okay, the best answer is letter C. Number five. What happens to the quantity demanded of a normal good when its price decreases? Letter A, it increases. Letter B, it decreases. Letter C, it remains the same. Or letter D, it depends on government intervention. The best answer is letter A, because according to the law of demand, when the price of a good falls, consumer demand more of it, assuming other factors remain constant, or ceteris paribus. So letter A is the best answer. Letter B is incorrect because demand would not decrease when the price drops. Hmm. Letter C is incorrect because price changes uh, do affect demand. It affects. Letter D is incorrect because demand is primarily influenced by market forces, not government intervention. Number six, which of the following is an example of an oligopoly? Letter A, a single company controlling the entire electricity supply in a country. Letter B, a few smartphone companies dominating the global market. Letter C, a small farmer selling vegetables in a local market. Or letter D, a firm that sets prices freely without competition. The correct answer is letter B because an oligopoly is a market dominated by a few large firms such as Apple and Samsung in the smartphone industry. For letter A, it's wrong because a single firm controlling the market is a monopoly. Again, it's monopoly. Letter C is wrong because many small sellers define perfect competition, not an oligopoly. And letter D is wrong because price setting power without competition suggests a monopoly, not an oligopoly. Only letter B is the answer. Number seven, which cost remains unchanged regardless of production level? Letter A, fixed cost. Letter B, variable cost. Letter C, marginal cost. Or letter D, opportunity cost. The best answer is letter A, fixed costs. Fixed costs like rent, salaries of permanent staff do not change with production levels. Fixed costs. For letter B, variable cost, it is incorrect because variable cost change with production, like for example, raw materials. For letter C, marginal cost is the addition of cost of producing one more unit. So it's not the correct answer. For letter D, opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative foregone, not a production cost. Only letter A is the best answer. Number 8, what is the main goal of fiscal policy? Letter A, to control the money supply. Letter B, to manage government spending and taxation. Letter C, to regulate business competition. Or letter D, to prevent inflation through interest rates. The correct answer is letter B because fiscal policy refers to government decision about taxation and spending to influence economic activity. Again, the main goal of fiscal policy is to manage government spending and taxation. Letter A is incorrect because monetary policy, not fiscal policy, controls the money supply. Again, the one who controls the money supply is the monetary policy. Letter C is incorrect because regulating competition is the role of antitrust policies, not fiscal policies. Letter D is incorrect because controlling inflation through interest rates falls under monetary policy. A fiscal policy is only letter B. Number 9, which of the following is a tool of monetary policy? Letter A, government spending. Letter B, taxation. Letter C, open market operations. Or letter D, minimum wage laws. The best answer is letter C because open market operations or OMO involve the central bank buying or selling government bonds to influence money supply and interest rates. Letter C is the best answer. For letters A and B are incorrect because government spending and taxation are fiscal policy tools, not monetary policy. Letter D is incorrect as well because minimum wage laws are labor regulations, not a monetary policy tool. So only letter C is the correct answer. Number 10, if the price elasticity of demand for a product is negative 1.5, what does this indicate? Letter A, demand is perfectly elastic. Letter B, demand is elastic. Letter C, demand is inelastic. Or letter D, demand is unitary elastic. The correct answer is letter B because an elastic demand has an absolute value greater than 1. A price elasticity of negative 1.5 means that 1% increase in price will lead to a 1.5% decrease in quantity demanded. So letter B is the best answer. For letter A is incorrect because perfectly elastic demand has an absolute elasticity of infinity, meaning consumers stop buying the product if the price changes. Letter C is incorrect because inelastic demand occurs when the absolute value is less than 1. Letter D is incorrect because unitary elastic demand means elasticity is exactly negative 1, where total revenue remains unchanged when price changes. So letter B is the best answer. Number 11. What happens if firms in a perfectly competitive market earn supernormal profits in the long run? Letter A, existing firms raise prices to maximize profits. Letter B. New firms enter the market, increasing supply and lowering prices. Letter C. The government regulates the industry to prevent monopolization. Or letter D. Firms leave the market due to high competition. The correct answer is letter B. Because in perfect competition, new firms enter the market when there are supernormal profits, increasing supply and pushing prices down to normal profit levels. Letter B is the best answer. For let's discuss the other choices. Letter A is incorrect because firms in perfect competition are price takers and cannot raise prices. Letter C is incorrect because government intervention is not required in perfect competition. Letter D is incorrect because firms only exist when profits fall below the break-even point, not when profits are high. Number Number 12. What is the main reason why countries experience stagflation? Letter A. Rapid economic growth with rising inflation. Letter B. A combination of high unemployment and high inflation. Letter C. Excessive government spending. Or letter D. A sharp increase in aggregate demand. The correct answer is letter B because stagflation is an economic condition where inflation and unemployment rise simultaneously, typically caused by supply shocks such as an oil crisis. Letter A is wrong because rapid growth usually leads to low unemployment, not stagnation. Letter C is wrong because excessive government spending might cause inflation but not necessarily unemployment. Letter D is wrong because a sharp increase in aggregate demand usually reduces unemployment, not increases it. So letter B is the best answer. Number 13. If a country has a trade deficit, what does this mean? Letter A. A country exports more than it imports. Letter B. The country's currency is appreciating. Letter C. The country imports more than it exports. Or letter D. The government has excessive public. The correct answer is letter C. Because a trade deficit occurs when a country imports more than it exports, leading to an outflow of domestic currency to foreign markets. Yes, letter C is the best answer. Letter A is incorrect because a trade surplus, not a deficit, happens when exports exceed imports. Again, when the country exports more than it imports, there is a trade surplus, not deficit. Letter B is incorrect because a trade deficit can lead to currency depreciation, not appreciation. Letter D is incorrect because public debt refers to government borrowing, which is separate from trade deficits. The letter C is the best answer. Number 14. If the government wants to use expansionary fiscal policy, which action should it take? Letter A. Increase government spending. Letter B. Reduce money supply. Letter C. Raise interest rates. Or letter D. Reduce exports. Letter A is correct because expansionary policy is used to stimulate economic growth by increasing government spending or cutting taxes to boost aggregate demand. Letter A is the best answer. Letter B is incorrect because reducing the money supply is a contractionary monetary policy. Again, for letter B, it's contractionary monetary policy. And for letter C, it's incorrect because raising interest rates is a monetary policy tool used to combat inflation, not expand the economy, not an expansionary policy. Letter D is incorrect because reducing exports would hurt economic growth rather than stimulate it. Number 15. A country experiences a high inflation rate of 12% while the real GDP growth rate is stagnant at 1%. What type of inflation is most likely occurring? Letter A. Demand pull inflation. Letter B. Cost push inflation. Letter C. Hyperinflation. Or letter D. Stagflation. The correct answer is letter B, because inflation occurs despite stagnant economic growth, indicating cost-push inflation caused by higher production costs like oil price shocks, supply chain disruptions. So it's called cost-push inflation. Letter A is incorrect because demand pull inflation happens when excessive demand causes inflation, which is not the case here. Letter C is incorrect because hyperinflation is an extreme form, like over 50% inflation per month. Letter D is incorrect because stagflation includes high unemployment, which is not mentioned in the scenario. So only letter B is the correct answer. Number 16. Suppose the central bank unexpectedly increases interest rates. Which of the following is not a likely effect? Letter A, a decrease in investment. Letter B, a strong domestic currency. Letter C, higher inflation. Or letter D, slower economic growth. Okay, letter C is correct because raising interest rates reduces money supply, which should lower inflation, not increase it. Okay, so higher inflation is not a likely effect of this scenario. Letter A is incorrect because higher interest rates make borrowing more expensive, discouraging investments. Letter B is incorrect because higher interest rates attract foreign investors, strengthening the currency. Letter D is incorrect because slower growth is a natural effect of contractionary monetary policy. Number 17. Suppose the cross price elasticity of demand between good X and good Y is negative 1.5. What does this imply about the relationship between these goods? Letter A. X and Y are substitutes. Letter B. X and Y are unrelated goods. Letter C. X and Y are complements. Or letter D. X and Y are inferior goods. Letter C is correct because a negative cross price elasticity means that as the price of Y increases, the demand of X decreases, indicating complementary goods. Again, X and Y are complements. Now, letter A is incorrect because substitutes have a positive cross price elasticity. Letter B is incorrect because unrelated goods have a cross price elasticity close to zero. Letter D is incorrect because inferior goods are determined by income elasticity, not cross price elasticity. Number 18. A country is experiencing a trade deficit. Which of the following is a possible consequence? Letter A, appreciation of the domestic currency. Letter B, increase in foreign debt. Letter C, decrease in imports. Or letter D, increase in domestic savings. The correct answer is letter B. Because uh, trade deficit means importing more than exporting, which increases foreign borrowing or debt. Okay, so letter B is the best answer. Letter A is incorrect because trade deficits often weaken the domestic currency. There is depreciation, not appreciation. Letter C is incorrect because a trade deficit implies higher imports, not lower. Letter D is incorrect because trade deficits reduce national savings. Mm, Again, trade deficits reduce national savings since the country is spending more abroad. So, letter B is the best answer. Number 19, the Phillips curve suggests a short-run trade-off between which two macroeconomic variables? Letter A, unemployment and inflation. Letter B, GDP growth and interest rates. Letter C, inflation and government spending. Or letter D, money supply and exchange rate. The correct answer is letter A because the Phillips curve shows an inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment in the short run. Again, Phillips curve shows an inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment in the short run. For letter B is incorrect because GDP growth and interest rates are not directly related to Phillips model. Letter C is incorrect because government spending is not part of the Phillips curve. Letter D is incorrect because the money supply and exchange rate relationship depends on monetary policy, not the Phillips curve. So only letter A is the correct one. Number 20, a government wants to decrease unemployment without causing high inflation. Which policy mix is most effective? Letter A, increase government spending and decrease taxes. Letter B, lower interest rates and increase money supply. Letter C, invest in education and infrastructure. Or letter D, increase tariffs on imports. Letter C is correct because long-term investment in education and infrastructure increases productivity and employment without causing inflationary pressures. So letter C is the best answer. Letter A is incorrect because increasing spending and cutting taxes raises demand, which can cause inflation. Letter B is incorrect because monetary expansion lowers unemployment but increases inflation risk. Letter D is incorrect because higher tariffs can reduce trade and uh, it can lower overall economic growth. So only letter C is the best answer. And that's it for our economics review. Comment your scores below and let me know which topic you'd like me to cover next. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss future review sessions in this channel. So this is Teacher Art reminding you study hard because by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. See you in our next session, future teachers. Bye bye.